Sup nerds, today we have Magnex DNA versus Skibidi Toiletmon. Robbie starts off by hatching Kyaramon, even into Gomamon. And then plays What's-Her-Face for 3. I hatch Demi Vmon, Evo into Wormmon. And just play the best card in the deck, Davis and Kin for 4 to choke him to 1. He stays in the back, plays a Shoto, sets me to 2. And I stay in the back. I could choose to play the promo Vmon in my hand, but it's my only other rookie and it doesn't search, so I just bypass the Davis and Kin, play Jade Memory Boost, Scourge top 3, add the Elijahmon, put Magnex on top. He plays Blucomon for 3, Scourges top 3, adds the Frigimon, sets me to 2. I trigger start a main, play Wormmon for free, Scourge top 3, add Magna, put Blue Scramble on top. Play another Jade, choke him to 1, Scourge top 3 again, add the Vmon. And now I'm golden. I'm ready to pop off. It took him too long to see stuff. He promotes, gains 2 memory, 1 from Shoto, 1 from What's-Her-Face. Gomamon is unblockable. He swings a Blucomon, checks a Blue Scramble. Thank you, very cool. We do have our first Chet here. He evos into Frigimon for 2 memory, but it does not evo on top of Gomamon for 2. It would be 3. He would gain a memory back, so he should be at 1 instead of 2 here, but it's not really a big deal. Then evos into Polar Bearmon for 3. And then triggers end of turn Shoto to make Polar Bearmon blocker. Alright, I promote, trigger start a main, Davis and Kin, play Vmon for free. Pop the Jade, go to 3. Evo and Elijahmon for 1 from the Vmon reduction. Evo and a Vmon for 2. DNA into Pyojamon. Gain a memory from X Vmon. Tap Davis and Kin first. Strip all 3 of his sources. Get another memory. And then I trigger the Pyojamon. That's the order you want to do it in always. So it suspends his entire board. And then nothing on his field can unsuspend until the end of his turn. So unfair. Pop Jade. Go to 4. And this was actually a misplay. I know for a fact Robbie is playing Vikemon in this list, and I just play into it super recklessly here by swinging. I could have evoed my Magnex and then swung, but thankfully we don't get punished. I draw from the Vmon and suspend. He doesn't have the Vikemon, so it doesn't matter. Jamming 1 check, 9k. Survive. Swing again, draw. Survive. Jamming's broken. Activate Blue Scramble for 2. Evo into Magna X for 1 memory. He triggers his effect, plus 3k immune, and unsuspends. Swing security, draw from Vmon. Activate effect, unsuspend, plus another 3k. So he's plus 7k right now. So he's 19,000 DP. Swing over the Polar Bearmon, draw from Vmon again. And then because the Blucomon's stunned, I don't feel bad about giving him 3 memory here. Play Davis, Scourge top 3. Add the Togomogumon. And then his turn at 3. He hatches Bukamon. And then start a main, he should gain 2 memory here. 1 from What's-Her-Face and 1 from Shoto. He goes into Blukamon for 2. There we go. Or Blukamon for 0. He goes into Paledramon for 2 memory. Doesn't do anything. Evo's into Chris Pilgrimon for 3 memory. So doesn't do anything. I am immune. And then plays Blue Scramble for 2. Evo's for 1 memory into Skibidi Toiletmon. Triggers his effect. Plays the Penguinmon for free. I'm just reading it. Then triggers end of turn Shoto to give the Penguinmon blocker. And my turn at my 3. I hatched Demi Vmon. It was smart of him to do that. His goal is to keep me from being able to check his security on this turn and keep my Magna X from gaining immunity. That's why he gave the Penguinmon blocker. Let's see if it works out for him. Trigger start a main, Davis and Kin. Play Vmon for free, Scourge top 3. Add the Vmon and the Davis and Kin. Evo Vmon and Raising. Then I Evo and Elijahmon for 2. Tap Davis and Kin, gain a memory, and then Elijahmon suspends a Penguinmon, LOL. Swing security, draw, triggers effect, plus 3k, unsuspend, immune. Attempt to swing over him, over his Skibidi Toiletmon, draw from Vmon. I forget that it has barrier. I just wasn't paying attention to the keywords on it. So he does protect it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Here's a nice HJ to clear your board. Here's 5 memory. Everything's dead. Your turn. He should have triggered his scramble before he unsuspended, but it's locals, so I'm not going to shark him or anything like that. So he triggers the scramble. So he puts a Frigi on top, plays Beluco, and then triggers Beluco's on play, scratches top 3, adds Hexablow and Frigi, and then should draw for turn here. Promotes, then goes to 7 from Shoto and What's-Her-Face. Evos into Frigimon for 2, strips to Ligimon, doesn't gain the memory though. I have to have no Digimon with sources, LOL. Evos into Polar Bearmon for 3, targets my Ligimon with the Polar Bearmon effect. It's not going to do anything, my Ligimon's going to bounce back to my hand at the end of his turn. Activates Blue Scram for 2, Evos into Hexablow for 1 memory. And it doesn't do anything, LOL, because I have Digimon with sources. So I go to 3, unsuspend. I'm not going to use my scramble. My Ligimon should bounce back to my hand at the end of his turn. He triggers Shoto, end of turn as well, to give the Hexablow blocker. Whatever. I promote, trigger Davis and Ken, start a turn, or start a main phase. Play Vmon. Vmon Scourge top 3. At this point, Robbie basically verbally concedes because he's like, just swing, man. And I'm like, are you scooping? And he's like, just swing. I'm like, what if you have an ace? And he's like, I don't have one, so I just turn my card sideways and he scoops. So we do take game 1. By the way, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And if you're interested in my Magna X DNA deck profile, link for that will be in the pinned comment below. And if you're interested in getting early access to videos as well as other perks, consider becoming a channel member. The join button should be where the subscribe button used to be if you're already subscribed. So Robbie chooses to go first for game 2, hatches Kyaro. He was in a Penguin for 1. I hatch Demi V. Evo into Vmon. And play Davis, Scourge top 3. Max value, add Vmon and Togemogu. Robbie celebrates that the HJ is going to the bottom of the deck, and I'm like, yeah man, I only play 1, you're right. Spoilers, I don't. So the Frigimon should Evo for 2 here because of the Penguinmon reduction, and then get a memory back. It ends up being a 1-cost Evo, effectively, which is still pretty good. Evo's in a Polar Bear for 3. And it doesn't do anything, and then I go to 3 from Davis. And now I just play him on Davis and Ken, choke him to 1. He hatches Bukamon. Evo's into Belucomon. Swings at me, jamming. 1 check. Checks a Jade Memory Boost, thank you, very cool. Then Evo's into Hex for 4 memory. And then bot decks my Davis and Ken. Whatever, didn't need it anyway. My turn at 3. I don't quite have the pieces to go into Pyojamon here, so unfortunately I'm forced to chill for 1 more turn. So I play Vmon for 3, Scourge top 3, add Ligimon and Davis. And then Evo into Ligimon for 2, and then his turn. He promotes his Beluco. Alright, he swings security. He has 3 checks with jamming, which is pretty ridiculous. Does survive all 3. Gives my Vmon security attack -1 until the end of my turn. Swings with the Belucomon with jamming as well. Evo's into Frigimon for 2. Gains a memory. Plays Mental. Scourges top 2. Reveals W Korikakumon. Adds 1, then I go to 3. I promote. I play Vmon for 3. Finally see the XV, add XV and Davis to hand. Pop Jade, go to 2, and then Evo into XV for 2. DNA, gain a memory from XV. DNA into Pyojamon, stun his board. At this point, I pick up Hexablow and read how Iceclad works, and I'm like, oh, LOL. That's actually to my benefit. I have 5 sources, his Hexablow has 4, and his Frigimon has 2. I swing unsuspend, run over his Hexablow, swing over the Frigimon. They both have Iceclad, get ran over by my 5-source Pyojamon, get destroyed. I just Evo a Togemogu for 3 to give him as few memory as possible. He hatches Kyaromon. Evo's into Beluco. Evo's into Paildramon for 2. Then he plays Frigimon for 5, strips a bottom 2 from the Paildramon. And then doesn't gain a memory because I have sources under everything. I draw. Hatch Jimmy V. Still haven't seen a Magna X, unfortunately. Opened pretty slowly this game. I Evo Vmon and Raising. And I Medieval Gallant, suspending Paildramon and his Frigimon to reduce it to 7 and blow up his Frigimon, choke him to 2. He promotes his Paildramon. Pops Mental, Evos into Chris Paildramon for 1 memory. Strips both 4s from my Paildramon. Rude. He draws from Kyaramon. So Robbie asked what Medieval Gallantmon did, and I let him read it. And he's unfortunately going to play into it here. He Evos in a Skibidi Toiletmon for 3 memory. Triggers the Windage Evolving to play the Korikakumon. Korikaku stuns the Medieval Gallantmon. And unfortunately for Robbie, this is a misplay, because he just played into my Medieval Gallantmon. So my Medieval Gallant triggers, suspend the Korikaku, and then blow up the Skibidi Toiletmon. Sag. It goes boom. So something Robbie could have done is he could have triggered the Wind Digivolving effect to put my Medieval Gallant into my security before triggering the other Wind Digivolving to play something out. But because he did it in this order, the Medieval Gallant triggers before he can trigger the other Wind Digivolving effect, unfortunately. So he just gets blown out there. Then my turn at 3. Promote my Vmon. Evo into X Vmon for 1 memory. DNA. Gain a memory from XV into Paildramon. Stun his board. Swing into his Korikaku, unsuspend. At this point, it's very obvious that he has a Zudomon in his hand because he sits there and thinks about it. So if he does Zudomon and doesn't bounce the Paildramon, I just crash into it and gain 3 overflow for free. So he chooses not to ace, and then I run it over. I swing security, unsuspend, jamming 1 check, swing again, draw from Vmon, jamming, check what's her face. Whatever, who cares? And I know he plays hybrids now that I've seen some, so because I don't have any defense on my board and still haven't seen a Magna X, I'm trying to figure out how to not just lose to a random hybrid coming off that tamer I just checked. So I play Wormmon for 3 here, Scourge top 3, finally see a Magna X, put Scramble on top. So the reason why I played the Wormmon is because I have a Togemogu in my hand, and if I play the Wormmon, I can Evo into the Togemogu for 2 memory, so he would go to 3 memory, and then if he has a hybrid, the Togemogu should be able to keep me from dying. I can just block it. But we saw the Magna X, so I Scramble for 2, Evo into Magna for 1, triggers his effect, plus 3k immune, and now I don't lose to a random hybrid. He hatches Kyaramon, gains memory from what's-her-face, Evo's into Gomamon. So now he's going to have an unblockable dude coming out next turn if he doesn't Evo on top of that guy, so that's something I have to be aware of. So Robbie obviously has Zudomon in his hand, as we learned from last turn, and he can play it here, but if he doesn't bounce the Medieval Gallantmon back to my hand when he plays it, the Medieval Gallant will blow it up, and I'll just steal turn from him. So he plays it for 4, strips the Vmon from the Paildramon, and bounces the Medieval back to my hand. Thank you. Evo's in a Skibidi Toilet for 4. Triggers the Skibidi Toiletmon, plays Polar Bearmon for free. Triggers the Polar Bear to make the Paildramon unable to activate when Digivolving effects, and it also can't suspend. And he also triggers the other Skibidi Toiletmon effect to recover my Wormmon, which I'm actually happy about. I hatches him a V, because it means I'm not just going to die randomly if he can check 1 security. I Evo into Vmon for 0. So at this point I'm worried about Vikemon. But YOLO swag 420, swing, draw from Vmon, unsuspend, gain immunity, gain 3k. And then I play Medieval Gallant, suspend both of his dudes to reduce it to 7, blow up Skibidi Toilet, gain 3 from overflow. I swing over the Polar Bearmon, draw from Vmon. Then I just Evo on XV for 2 to give him as few memories as possible. He promotes. He gains 2 memory from the double what's-her-face, and then Gomamon can't strip anything, but he is unblockable for the turn. Evos into Paildramon for 2. Nothing happens. He swings unblockable. I trigger Magna X, unsuspend, gain immunity, all that stuff. He blue scrambles for 2 into Chris Paildramon. And then, sadly, he cannot unsuspend because I have to have no Digimon with sources. LOL, Magna X is broken. He plays Zudo for 4, bounces the Medieval back to my hand, and my turn at 4. I promote my XV. And just hand gibber his board for 7 memory, kill everything, gain 3 back from Ace Overflow. I have 30,000 DP to divvy up, so his whole board's cleared. I swing security, draw from Vmon, unsuspend, and then swing XV, and then swing for game with Magnex. So we do take the match 2-0, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy seeing this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.